Hello, welcome back to Leith Central, and this is a new project that's going to be going on in relation to the Model Railway Club, but will be on Leith Central, and that is the turning of these two new Bachmann V1 stroke V3s into local Edinburgh and Fulton based examples for running on the club's layouts. These were picked up at a discounted price at the local model shop. They were doing a £40 discount. I actually got the last early crest one, so we're going to follow these through the process of going from standard out of the box models to fully weathered, fully renumbered, and we're going to fit lamps and have them running on trains. And the aim is to have these on Glendevon by the Glenrothes show, so that gives us until middle of May. So we'll follow these through that process. So we'll just do a quick unboxing on them now and a bit of a review at them in standard form. Okay, so that's the two V3s out of the box. This is the two standard Bachmann releases from the latest catalogue, numbers 31615, number 67690 in early crest, and number 31614, which is 37646 in BR late crest. The difference between the two being the bunker shape, which if I spin these two around, giving you a good look at the sides as well, you can see the detail difference there at the back. I wanted one of each, just to show that detail difference, and also the idea being show one in its pristine working life and also towards the end of its life. The one nearest will become the North Berwick Pet with its chrome front end. So just a quick look around these models now. The first thing you notice is these are on the new chassis, which holds great signs for the new V2s which are due later this year. It's a good running chassis. We've had these running up and down at the club, as I'm not the only one who's purchased this pair, as we're looking to get a good stud of V3s together. The overall front end look is very good on these V3s. It's actually a similar body tooling with additional fitted parts to the original tooling on the split chassis, but it's a model that was quite ahead of its time when it first came out, and the body still stands up well. There's additional fitted details like the pipes on the front are finer than on these models, as are the ones down the side of the boiler. The front end, if I bring you around onto one here, not that you can make it out that well on the camera, but if I just move it off to the side there, you can see that the where the light catches the side there is separately fitted turn brass detail. The overall impression is really good, and the one massive improvement with this new chassis is the lack of silver on the wheels. You know, the wheels are a lot better on these ones. There's no big silver tyres, which although you could paint them out with just a little bit of gunmetal paint, it saves you the job, and they look smart straight out of the box and go straight running on the layout if you so wish. As I said, the running characteristics are as with any new Bachmann model. As I say, just after being running, they are really good. There's good pulling power, especially for a tank of this size. You know, we haven't tested them up to the full potential, as we've only had the end-to-end Glendevon at the club, so we haven't had a chance to put the full load behind one of these on Newcastle yet to test this new chassis. Standard tension lock couplings as always with Bachmann, and you get a small pack of detailing parts. The usual hoses and footsteps and stuff, which I'll fit once they are fully weathered up and the numbers changed and everything, which is the process we're going to go through on these models eventually. The one drawback I would say with these models is the fact that it's one thing we're having a problem with on a lot of modern models these days, is you're getting the detailing parts in the box and then the models will not fit back into the boxes with all the separate detailing parts fitted. These are in the standard Bachmann boxes, as you can see behind there. Like if I pull out, where you get the plastic sleeve over the top of the plastic insert, and it's getting the buffer beam detail in at the rear end that's proving the issue there. So it's just a case of cutting into the box, which we've looked at and know what we're doing there, so I'll cover that later in the video as well, later in the videos on these V3s as well. As a box is the standard sliding Bachmann variety, as you get most standard new models these days. The other thing that it's an issue with most modern manufacturers these days is the shiny plastic cowl. A lot of them do come with this being removable. I haven't checked yet whether it's removable on these V3s, but they will get a coating of real coal over the back just to add to the authenticity of it. Haven't decided yet whether to fit crews to them or not, because that could be a difficult job through the cab doors. If I bring them round there, I'll bring you in on the printed detail of this side. This is of the usual Bachmann quality, if the camera will focus on it. The usual Bachmann. I'm not going to be able to get you in any closer than that, unfortunately. But as I said, please bear with us. This is quite a new camera for filming of Leith Central and filming of models. But I can assure you that all printing on these is very crisp. It actually seems a shame to be taking the numbers off them to fit new numbers, which are on all the From Model Master decals. But needs must, and it's to create a rather nice little project where we'll get the contrasting V3s in BR service. So all in all, a very good model, and we'll get some tracking shots of those on Glendevon at the end of the feature once they're all weathered up and ready to go. But we'll take you through that process, and because there's a lot of weathering videos out there for modern image locals and modern image stock, which I may cover later on the channel, as I do have a lot of stock to weather. But I'll take you through this process of weathering up a couple of steam engines, just for something a little different, away from all the modern image stuff that will be on the channel around Leith Central. And hopefully we'll get this completed by May, and they'll be on the Glendevon layout. There'll also be another feature that's working towards something for Glendevon, which I'll surprise you with next time when it eventually goes up. And we'll have another update on Leith Central coming up soon. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you the models what these models will become, and we'll have a look at a couple of pictures I've found online of those models, and you can have a look at the contrasts of them. Okay, so as I mentioned at the start of the video, these will be becoming different locals to what they are out the box. The first one, the stepped bunker early crest one, will be becoming this. This is the North Berwick Pet, seen in this picture here from the 1960s, the early 1960s, late 50s. I can't find the exact date on the photo at this moment in time. It's number 67670 with the front end embellishments in silver, and this is going to be a pristine model. Just generally, as you see it there on the photo, a little bit of weathering on the cab roof and around the front end, but with all that chrome silvery detail. I haven't quite decided yet which paint I'm going to use to create that on the front, but I'll look into it and do some test pieces on some old BR Black test pieces I've got. So that's the first loco, and the other will be 67635 which had similar embellishments while down at Bridlington, as you can see from this photo here, but later in life it was a Thornton Junction engine with the lake crest, and I've found pictures of that weathered working 5-2 Edinburgh services, so that'll be which that one becomes. I may end up doing the embellishments on this one as well. I haven't quite decided yet, and will be doing 670 first. So this one may end up with the same embellishments, but I'll keep track of that as we go. And we may end up with 2 pristine V3s with the silver embellishments for working passenger services. If not, we'll end up with one that's nice and grimy and in lake crest. So they're the 2 that these will become, and we'll catch up with them in a later feature. Okay, so now all the equipment has arrived for doing this renumbering on the V3s. We've got the Model Master, first of all, Model Master decals have arrived, but first of all, to do the silvering on the front, I've got a Humbrel 27003, which is metal polished steel, and the Model Master decals I'll be using will be this one, the V3 V2 262s, which in that you get 4 specific examples plus some spares where you can build up your own, and also some Eastern Scotland shed plates, so I can put the right shed plate number on the locos. Also, I've got the finners, the cotton wool buds to remove the old transfers. So let's get on with that now. Okay, so we now have a numberless V3 ready for its transfers, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean the model off now with having used the thinners, and then I'm going to apply the silver to the front before I fit the transfers. So we'll get the model cleaned, and then we'll get on with painting them small details, which I'm going to use this. It's going to be brush painted using this fine brush. It's the finest one I've got, but if it's not turned out the way it is, I'm going to do it so I can just wipe it off. The good thing about using the enamel is you can just take it off and start again, just with a little bit of effort, just like we've just done with the transfers there. You see, that's now blank on the front as well. So the shed code's gone as well, and also around the other side, no number on either side of the V3. So this one is the one that's going to become the North Berwick Pet, so we'll get on with putting the silver on the front of that next. Okay, so that's the intricate metalling on the front giving its first coat. If you look round and move around the light, you can see the sheen from the metallic paint, even done on the splashes there. Filming this wasn't immensely difficult, so I've ended up just going straight to the thing. I'm going to talk you through the process now. So the way I add details like this to an engine is I have open a picture of what I'm trying to do, of the area I'm trying to do, and then I do the model straight from the picture. So on here, what I did was I got an ultrafine brush. This one, as you see, the paint's still on it. I haven't been cleaning that yet. That's how freshly done this is. So I use the paint that's on the lid. I use neat paint for detail, like neat enamel for details like this. And you obviously can just very carefully scrape off with a knife. There's a little bit there I've got to do underneath that bar. So I take this off the lid. I then dab off any excess on the brush onto a piece of towel, and then slowly fill in the areas I'm intending to repaint. As you can see, the splashes there, the handrail across the front, the little centre of the clock on the front, the coupling hook, and the buffers. I haven't painted in behind the buffers due to the fact of leaving them sprung, and also just for completeness, I'm unsure on the real model, but I just thought, just to complete mine off, I've also metalliced up the rear buffers as well. The next step will be to let that dry and then get the new transfers fitted. You may have noticed when I was taking transfers off the side, I put a dot on the side of the engine with a pencil, just to mark where the original decals were, so I'll get the decals at the right height on the bunkers there. But we'll let that paint dry and we'll come back once the transfers are ready for fitting. And I'll just show you transfers going onto the side, because this in around the front is very fiddly and very difficult to film. But the same process is invariably similar, just a little bit more fiddly and a lot closer in and a lot more accurate. So I'll take you through the simple ones on the side, but I will be fitting a shed plate down onto. They are quite simple to locate because the shed plate's moulded outwards, as is the number plate. So locating the ones on the front is quite simple. Locating the ones on the side is a little bit more difficult, but based on photographs for any detail variation I have checked, and the numbers on this one are at the height that the Bachmann numbers were, so they will be quite simple to put back in the same place that the old numbers were. And of course, where your thinning was, where there's any little bit of distortion in the paintwork underneath, we'll cover some of that up as well. So we'll let that dry and we'll get back to you when we're ready to fit the transfers. Okay, so that's all the livery changes applied to 67670. You see there on the front end the silver as it spins, and the light catches it. Also, what I've done now is I've fitted the detailing pack and also a passenger head coat to the front. Coming around the side, all that's needed now to complete this model will be a layer of sleeper grime along the wheels and a little bit of mucking on the cab roof, as per the real thing in the photo seen earlier. So that's now complete. As I mentioned in the video, I've also silvered up the buffers at the back. I couldn't see that in the photo, but I thought it just completed the model nicely. No head code on the back yet, because I'm going to have to get some smaller lamps due to the BR and LNR ones I've got not fitting underneath this wire handrail on the back. So that's the only additional fitting needed. I did say I was going to fit real coal into it, but I might just dull down what's there. That might come at a later time, but that's another option of what I could do with this model. But really happy with the way it's turned out, and as you've probably seen, there's a few shots of it on what we have of Leith Central so far. So That will go down to the club room for its spray of weathering on Tuesday, and during that time I'll move on to making a start on the Glenrothes based V3. So I hope you've enjoyed the video looking at the detailing and renumbering of this V3. The next one in the series will be the overall weathering of the other example, because that's having the heavier weathering job done on it. I've covered the the removing transfers and fitting transfers on this one. There's a list of the materials I used in the description. So the next video will be the weathering of these, but I'll leave you a couple of close-up photographs of the work on this V3 so far. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.